Welcome to Guns and Gear Network, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. Today we're going to look at Kydex holsters, the good and the bad, and what to look for. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate you joining us. So today we're going to take a look at some Kydex holsters, a little discussion about Kydex. Kydex holsters is nothing new, but I did want to kind of give my take on it, and for people new to looking at concealed carry or looking at buying holsters, kind of my take on it and what to look for and kind of the good, bad, and ugly of Kydex in general. Kydex is not new. It's been around in popularity for 10 or 12 years now. And I want to show you some good examples, bad examples, and kind of what I look for and what I suggest you might want to look for when buying a Kydex holster. And I know you can only do so much of that by looking online, because a lot of these holster makers, you're not going to see these. You'll see a few that are in your regular gun stores, kind of hanging on the shelf, ready-made to buy. But normally this is a process where you're ordering it online a lot of times, probably 95% of the time. I'm in a lot of gun stores throughout the year, and I see very few ready-made, off-the-shelf to buy Kydex holsters. So this is going to be an online process. So need to look at the reputation of the vendor, who's selling it, try looking for reviews, things like that, and kind of go from there. There's a lot of people on eBay. I think Etsy at one time, I think they've done away with any firearm related stuff, but at one time Etsy had some holster makers. Websites where you just Google search Kydex holsters and then some websites come up. Some have more well-known names than others in the Kydex industry. They've kind of got known, where some are kind of flying under the radar or whatever, and most of these are family-owned businesses and small mom-and-pop type operations. Usually I would say 10 employees or under kind of thing. So it is a niche market when it comes to that, as far as an industry and supporting those people that do it. And I'll show you some different variations of what people do in the process. I'm going to show you my worst holster that I have. It's my oldest holster of Kydex first, and then we'll kind of go into other things with it. So this is it. It is for the Ruger TCP, the 380. I'm sorry, the Taurus TCP 380. And it's very crude. It was one of the first ones I bought 10 or 12 years ago, something like that. Holster makers were real popular with leather back in the day, and then as things started transitioning over to more Kydex. There's a lot more Kydex holster makers than leather now because of the popularity of Kydex, and there's good reason for it. It's a durable product, holds up well. The firearms usually fit well and secure into the holster very nice because of the way it is heated and then formed. So these are like sheets, and they heat it to a pliable type of consistency, and then they mold it to the firearm. There's different ways to do it. Some people used to clamp them. Now they use like vacuum forming. There's a bunch of different ways, but that's how they get it to form around the gun. So on this one in particular, it was very crude at best. It was pretty bad, to be honest with you. I bought it off eBay. It was $20 or less. I didn't really, pick a fight with the vendor that sold it to me. I just kind of put it as it was what it was. I could make do with it. But it did not, the firearm did not fit well. The good thing about Kydex, if you have one that's kind of ill-fitting a little bit, you can make adjustments with heat. So you can go in and heat it with a heat gun, hair dryer, possibly even like one of those long barbecue lighters, kind of get certain spots a little hotter and kind of pliable, and then you can mold it yourself a little bit with your hands to kind of make it fit a little better in certain situations, and that's what I had to do with this one. So this one, if you look, has a terrible clip, belt clip. This one is made of Kydex, and so this was prior to now. There are companies out there making clips for holster makers that they go on a website and order wholesale supplies, and they'll send them belt clips, and we'll show you some of those here in a minute. But this one is made with Kydex, very crude. The lines are somewhat straight but not exact. The hole, if you look, is a little off center here. Just the little details that matter, in my opinion, that are not here with this particular holster. Does it function? Yes. Works just fine. after it took a little bit of form fitting myself around the trigger guard to make it fit in place. This one does not have adjustable tension. I will show you one with adjustable tension, and this one is the one without. So it kind of, once you form it, it is what it is. But this one's not that great, to be honest with you. It's okay. It does work its purpose. It works fine as far as that, but it's just not that great. Another thing was this belt clip. I could never get it tight enough without it moving around, so I actually took it off, put some like JB Weld or epoxy or something, I can't remember what, and then put it back on, and now it's stuck where it won't move around. So riveted in, no adjustment for tension or retention, and that sort of thing. Pretty bad, to be honest with you guys. So let's set this over to the side. I'll give you a little better look here at how this one looks. It's not that great at all, to be honest with you. It's pretty bad. So there's that one. All right, so let's look at the same holster as far as a one for the Taurus TCP. That's a lot better. There's a few little flaws on this one I'll discuss that's not great for me personally, but they can be fixed, and I'll talk about some more of that in detail with the other holsters too. This one's a lot better. This one has one of those factory built, if you will, molded plastic belt clips up to 1.75 inches in size. Really nice. If you look, all the edges are polished around. It's got an adjuster here for tension to change your retention strength if you want it tighter or looser. It does have that. It has where it's molded down, because this is inside the waistband. Every one of these except for this, for the Glock 17, is for inside the waistband. So if you look, it's nice and molded, so it's nice and comfortable inside, because this right here would be your skin. This right here would be where the holster would be, and your belt would run around here, obviously. So nice and smooth right in there. The only negative for me is the radius here is not quite as rounded as I would like, which can be fixed. You have to be careful not to get into this tensioner here, but I can round that corner off just a little bit more. And the reason I don't like that is because if this is against your skin, you see that corner right there kind of digging into my hand, if I round that a little more, that will be less obvious when I am wearing it. So you want to look for nice round radiuses for inside the waistband in particular. This one fits nice. No problems at all. I've got it adjusted fairly tight. Nice clearances for everything. Trigger guard's covered. The magazine release is covered. It's got a high sweat guard that goes up into here to protect your firearm while it's against your body like that. So this right here is a good example. Again, eBay situation, less than, I think, $20 including shipping for something like this. Really nice. So other than that little bit of radius, I would have rounded a little. I would like to see a little more rounded. I will probably do that by hand to kind of straighten that out a little bit and do that. But this one's really nice. Give you a better look. Rubber grommets in here to keep this tight. Big rubber grommet here for adjustment on retention. Give you an idea. All right, so there's those two as examples. So let's go to another one. This one has been a great holster for me. This one is for a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard. And if you look, a real nice round radius all the way across. The difference, if you look at the two side by side, see where this is rounded? This one is not right here. This one against your skin, there's not a lot there that can cause any issues. Matter of fact, you could round this little section right here. All this matters when you're doing inside the waistband and it's against your body. So you want nice round radiuses. This one has it. Again, adjustable for retention. Now this person here went a little further than this guy. If you look, there is no washer right in here behind this screw. Here, 2 metal washers. So that kind of protects that hole and this from possibly cracking as you're tightening it down. It does have, I think it has washers in behind unless they're squeezed all the way in. It's hard to tell. There may be washers in behind there like the rubber washers. There's definitely a rubber washer here, again for retention. And then there is your adjustment right here. to back here. Chicago screws is what those are called. Again, protects the firearm nice high sweat guard. Protects all in here. Now this could be protected a little bit more. This magazine release, I personally never had a problem with accidentally bumping that and releasing the magazine, which would be almost impossible, but I guess it could happen. But that right there protects just the corner of it. Shouldn't be an issue, anything like that. So another example. So let's jump over to this one real quick. This is the Glock 17 outside the waistband, and this one was not a good example of a nice Kydex holster when I got it, and it's still not really that great. I use it for range use, but it's not that great. This one, these holes are not spaced correctly, and the hardware that they included, again, is made of Kydex. This guy did not do real well either. I wound up having to go in and straighten some of this out. If you look, maybe you can tell on camera, but where the holes don't line up, it's hard to get it to. He included different hardware mounting, so like for 1.5 inch or 1 3/4 belts, blah blah blah. So there's quite a few different things that he included. Riveted, but this style is designed to be riveted and no adjustment for the most part, but it's okay at best. Not that great, to be honest with you. This one's okay. I didn't pay a ton of money for it. Again, the hardware pretty shoddy. I was not happy with the screws. These screws are much better quality. They're rounded. These right here almost look like sheet metal screws. They got flat heads on them right here instead of being more rounded. This one's okay. It does its function correctly by holding the firearm appropriately, but it's just not that great. You also want to look for polished edges. This guy did polish the edges pretty nice. You can see when it's got a little slick, shiny edge. That's a pretty good sign, and he did round the radiuses pretty decent. But again, the fit and finish on this one was not that great, but it's functional. I'll give it that. Okay, so then I'll show you this holster. This one right here is my latest one, and it is adjustable to some level, and it also has what's now called the claw, or I don't know, there's maybe a couple other names for it. And what this does is it pushes the firearm more against your body like that, which cuts down on printing, is what that's designed for. So your belt runs through here where the clip is against here, and this pushes it more, this back grip area more in towards your body, so it's not pushed out to cause that printing. This one was nicely done with good fit and good finish. This one actually has adjustability. These holes right here are slotted, so you can actually turn this for a different cant if you want to do that. This one's canted just a little bit, and this right here causes the firearm to be a little more forward where I can grab hold of it at an angle. And this had nice polished edges also. This one has the RMR cut. So if you want to look at the RMR cut, some people cut this RMR cut a little higher, so this would be more filled in right here, and some people cut it a lot lower like this one here. Advantages and disadvantages to this style of cut. So the advantage is I can clear the holster on a draw faster because it clears the holster. There's not as much to come up higher. So if it was filled in to say right there, all the way almost to the glass, then I would have to come that much higher out of the holster to get it out and present the firearm. Also, a positive for having it filled in is to protect your glass of your RMR or your sight a little better. So advantages and disadvantages, kind of personal preference there. But this is another good example of a nicely built with the construction of it and the design, nice round radiuses, nice sweat guard here, cut out back here so I can get it and get a good nice purchase on it. And this one fits nice also. A little rattly, little fit is a little different. I wish that was a little tighter, but it is what it is. It works fine, especially once it's on. All that gets tight anyway once it's on against your body and then on your belt, so that doesn't really matter. Where this one, if you take this one, a little bit of rattle, Not much. This one, not much, not really. So just when you're looking at holsters, guys, look at the pictures and look at the reviews, and then look for the small details that matter. Look at the hardware they use, if you can get that detail of a picture, to make sure they're not using cheap hardware. Make sure that if you see things like made in the USA right here on this, because I just showed a video recently of a belt clip on one of my magazine holders that I got off of Amazon. This was a little, not quite as stiff as I would like. These right here, because it was made in China. This one made in the USA, nice and stiff, should last a lifetime. And like I said, all these holsters, Kydex, they're going to last a lot longer than leather. They're weatherproof. They're not going to, get damaged. The only thing you might have is some rust getting on your screws over time, just from sweat or anything like that, moisture that might get on them. But pay attention when you're looking at holsters. It really matters to me, all the little small details that go into holster making. These guys do a great job at trying to produce a nice product, and some better than others when it comes to that. But again, terrible example, real good example, nice example, okay example. So it kind of runs the gamut, and it's not even a matter of you get what you pay for sometimes, because I've seen similar price point holsters, and one was just better than the other as far as the way they approach their build, the way they build it, and things like that. So you just never know what's up with that, and why. But pay attention to reviews, kind of research your companies out, give your smaller companies the opportunity to do business with them if you can. That's always helpful in our industry, to give the smaller companies opportunity to show off their products and so forth. But anyway, guys, hope that was helpful. Did a little discussion about Kydex. Again, nothing new to the industry, but I wanted to do kind of a side-by-side comparison of Kydex and what to look for in good holsters and bad holsters. But anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. If you got any suggestions or comments you'd like to put in about your Kydex holsters, or anything that you might want to share with us, be sure to do that. And as always, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Bring another video shortly. Have a great day.